I want to share again on our Facebook page. We have the link. Sports Center, before there was Kaepernick, there was the Black 14 about 50 years ago. And this came back as a memory on one of my Facebook pages, and I shared it on our page. And I had forgotten kind of what happened, but went back. It's only 6 minutes, but it's a really great little piece talking about the Black 14. I'll start it out because you remembered it and I didn't. So what happened apparently was that this was the University of Wyoming, the Cowboys, as I remember correctly.
Right.
And they were extremely successful. They were winning games left and right. And they had to come up, they were on a 5-game winning streak when they came to BYU, the game with BYU. And BYU was being protested because their religion did not allow for Black priests, African-American priests. So their bias was on display, and they were basically, getting the protest from a national scale. So here you got these kids going in to play the game, and they're trying to figure out what should we do, Now, again, this is 50 years ago. And we're in Wyoming.
Right.
We're in Wyoming, not exactly Black urban area. You know what I mean? Just quite the opposite. So they decided that what they would like to do would be to wear Black armbands as a sign of their support of the protest. You want to finish it from there?
Yeah, it was just that simple. They wanted to wear Black armbands and possibly put the number of 14 on each armband because there were 14 of them in support of this protest. These are college students, all right? These aren't a bunch of knuckleheads, right? This was a protest that was of a national scale, just like you said, and they felt that it was important that they show some kind of solidarity with the protest. On top of the fact that I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, in some other games against BYU or other teams who had Black players who played against BYU, especially at BYU, they were insulted, they were cursed at, they had racist epithets thrown at them and all kinds of stuff like that too. So they knew they were going into a hostile environment on its own, over and above the protest. So they wanted to let it be known that, we're not with this stuff that you guys got going up here, and we want to show that. So they didn't just say, come on, y'all, gather 14 guys in the room, cut out some armbands, we're gonna wear these tomorrow, da, da, da. They did what they thought was the right thing. They asked to meet with the head coach, and they were going to ask the coach if it was all right if they do this. And before they could get the whole question out, he told them, I tell you what, I'm paraphrasing, I tell you what, I'll save you guys a lot of trouble. You're all kicked off the team. How about that? Now you don't have to worry about wearing armbands. You don't have to worry about protests. You don't have to worry about anything. You're off the team. See you later. Deuces. That's basically it. What a mess. What a mess. And if they had just put the armbands on, like right before they came out onto the field, they probably could have pulled it off, but there would have been consequences and repercussions after the game. If the coach had heard them out and said, no, I don't want you to do that, they wouldn't have done it.
That's the irony.
That's the irony. They wouldn't have done it.
Additional tragedy of the situation.
Yes. But instead of saying
support of the coach,
yes,
community,
yes,
doing it.
Yes. They wanted to know, this is something that we thought we want to do, but we only want to do it if we have your support. If you say it's okay, if you say it's not okay, we won't do it. And he booted him off the team.
They never even got to that question.
They didn't even get the whole question out.
They didn't even get to that, you know?
Which leads me to believe that somebody prepped him for this. Somebody told him, somebody found out about what was going on and told him ahead of time. Probably didn't tell him the whole story. Probably didn't tell him, you know, that the players are going to respect your word, whatever it may be. They probably just said, Dad, this is what they planning to do. And kicked them all off the team.
Well, you know, that is an interesting back possibility that somebody snitched. And that is
why else would he cut them off like that? I would think that in a situation like that, he would be surprised to hear this and want to hear it out. Like, you want to do what? Why?
Well, you know, you say, why?
Okay.
It was racism. That's why. He was as racist as everybody else.
I get that, okay? But he's oblivious to the fact that they would even want to do this. So if he heard about it ahead of time, I understand why he went at them the way that he did. If he didn't know it ahead of time and it caught him by surprise, he probably would have heard them out. He may have still made the same decision, but he probably would have heard them out because it caught him by surprise, and he would have had to stop and think for a second, at least. He still might have said, get out of here. I don't know. But he cut them off. They never got a chance to really ask, is it okay with you if we do this? They just started talking. He was like, no problem. I ain't got time for this. I tell you what, all y'all off the team, don't even worry about it.
Well, they finished up somewhat still winning, but over the next few years, their record went down and they really started to suffer on the winning, as far as winning was concerned. So
exactly,
didn't help them football wise in the long run. And these were guys, again, before Kaepernick. So that you know what Kaepernick got, these kids got, and they didn't have a national audience. They didn't have an NFL contract. As a matter of fact, they were talking about they didn't know how they were going to get jobs because they were such pariahs in that community. They probably had the community all together. You know?
The way it was put out to the public was totally wrong too.
Yeah.
The way the public ended up hearing it was like these guys were doing something so terribly wrong and on their own, as if they never asked the coach or even attempted to get the blessing of the coach. They made them look like they were some kind of rabble rousers. And then, you know, people were on campus looking at them like, look at these guys. Like you said, they had trouble getting jobs. Or you're one of those football players. You're one of those 14 guys. That's awful, man. Their lives could have been ruined.
All right. Well, that is on Ben and Barry on Football. You can go back and watch that. That's a Sports Center production.